So following my video on the AK-74, I received a comment from the user at collegeblock953 asking for a guide on the Scar H. I obliged, and that's where this video comes from. Unfortunately, after streaming and posting the AK-74 video, I got sick, so that stopped me from progressing on other videos and streaming the games I played using the Scar H. But all is well, I'm feeling better and ready to make more new videos for you guys. Hey everyone, I'm Rum, and welcome to today's video, the late guide to the Scar H. Before we get further into the video, I want to shout out our public subscribers this week. Cheers to you guys. And of course, shout out College Black for the comment. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. The Scar H is a level 50 unlock, meaning it barely passes for the level 0 to 50 early game options and should be considered as such. Being a battle rifle, the Scar has an incredible damage stat, able to reasonably melt your enemies from mid to far ranges compared to its auto rifles and carbine counterparts. Another thing to note about battle rifles is that any class can use them. Yes, even the Recon has access to battle rifles, unlike some other early unlocks like the F2000 and the AK-74. However, the Scar has the same issues as its other battle rifle brothers, a high recoil and low control stat. Usually the attachments for the gun help it, and I can't deny that you could save the gun stats using some attachments. Still, the bottom line is that you need to use the Scar with a more burst fire gameplay, since you'll lose sight of your target after firing for a while. This might scare some of you into not using the gun anymore, but I must remind you that the gun boasts severe damage. The Scar can effectively deal with exo armor supports from nearly all ranges, meaning if your playstyle is a more calm and milsim-esque, then I recommend giving the Scar a shot. Otherwise, I'd say to just give the gun a pass. The Scar loses to most other weapons in a CQB situation thanks to its high recoil and slow fire rate. And the Scar's low control stat won't be helped if you run around and shoot for most of the match. So which classes do I recommend using the Scar H? Well, the best class I think could use the Scar would be the support. The support used to have a problem with the low weapon selection. One can make the argument that they still do have that problem, but since they added the battle rifles category into the game, they've had a mantra of different weapons and playstyles. Luckily, the Scar doesn't have that much of a different playstyle compared to the support's other weapon categories, the light support machine guns. The support has always needed to play slower than other classes due to its armor and the movement speed debuff on all LMGs, so using the Scar would almost be the second nature to you support mains, who still like to push with the team. It also helps that the support can carry the most amount of ammo using their heavy armor option. And with the Scar only having 20 bullets for its normal and quick mags, the increased amount of magazines makes the support an A+ class to use it on. The second class I recommend picking up the Scar would be the Engineer. The Engie can make great use of the Scar's medium range threat with his explosives and the lack of durability. Being a squishy class means the Engie would want to stay away from fights rather than close up, so pairing the Scar with him would make a lot of sense if you're determined to use the Scar and don't like the support to low mobility. It serves as more of a good in-between. And the class I recommend the least to take the Scar would be the Assault. This is mainly because the Assault is made to be better fit for CQB battles. The faster reload speed does help, but while playing it was tough for me to use the Scar running around the map as fast as I could. And because the Assault was built for speed, the Scar feels more counterintuitive. And you might be wondering, why did I not say the Recon here? And that is mainly because the Recon can get some pretty decent value from the Scar if their team needs it. The Recon is another squishy class, so staying away from fights has always been the name of their game. And when the weapon changes went through, you would see a bunch of aggressive Recons drop their snipers and marksman rifles to pick up their new battle rifles. This looks pretty trollish to some, but this is a very fun playstyle to others, so I leave that up to you, the player, to decide. Support is still the best option over the other classes since the class already emphasized that kind of playstyle along with the number of magazines you can carry compared to that of the Medic or Recon. But now that the classes are out of the way, let's get into the build. So one-time scopes are your king here, but some are better than others. I recommend you refrain from using the red dot or reflex sights, since it's much too easy to lose your target when burst firing for too long. I use the SH sight since the shape and space allowed me to track enemies better than using the red dot, a change I made later due to my denying that the sight was the problem. I used a stable grip to deal with the brutal vertical recoil and first shot kick stats, and for the barrel, I recommend using the NT4 or VAMB barrels to deal with the nasty control and first shot kick stats. The gun is a beast in damage. Controlling it does take some time, but once you get used to it and get into it, the SCAR is a fun and worthwhile pickup weapon, especially in the early game when most of your unlocks all really do feel the same. And that's about all I have to say on the SCAR H. I know this video is much shorter than my others, even compared to the AK-74 video, and I can revisit the gun after a buff or a rework and break it down more on a live stream. But with all that being said, my name is Rum, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.